So guys, we're back again with another video. This time it's the iPod Mini. For those of you that are retro iPod fans and retro Apple product fans, this one's definitely for you. Apparently you can identify the two because of the insignia on the back. The second generation ones apparently have the storage capacity there on the back, whereas the first gen don't. The first gen, I believe, came in 5 colours, including gold, and second gen only came in 4 colours without the gold. We're going to just replace the battery on it. I've ordered a brand new battery. I think that the older one is 500 mAh and my new one is 750 mAh. Well, at least it claims to be 750 mAh. So you can order these batteries and stuff on eBay and Amazon, I believe, pretty cheap. So that's where I got mine from. So we're just going to open it up. Some parts I've had to pry open prior to this video just to make it easier to explain to you. So that's why some parts are semi loose. Otherwise I'll be there all day. So yeah, I'm just going to breeze through it quickly for anyone that's interested in opening up the iPod and replacing the battery. Obviously when you're doing this, if anything goes wrong, it's down to the responsibility of yourselves at home. So just please be careful and take your time, because a lot of these parts are very brittle and they can snap easily. So just take your time and don't rush it. So the first thing to do is to remove this part here on the top. So as you can see, there's like a plastic piece there that sort of docks into the metal, and really you're supposed to use you should be using these plastic prying tools that are non-marring so that it doesn't scar the plastics on your device. But because my one isn't in the best condition, it's just sort of you know, quite used and whatnot, and because it's silver I can get away with using certain tools. But if you don't want to damage any of the finishes on your nice Apple product, then I suggest using the plastic prying tools. They're usually like a blue colour or red. You take your prying tool down the side, and obviously when you look at it for the first time you think, oh, how the hell am I going to get a prying tool in there? But if you just have some patience and you just really take your time, you'll be able to find a really tiny gap in between. You'll be able to slide it in, and then just really take your time to find where that lip is. And once you've got it, you can just kind of work your way in and across. It's a little bit fiddly, as you can see, but again, don't rush this. When you get to here, be careful, just try to ease back out and sort of ease back in, because there's, I'll show you now, the way that it's built, if you can see in there, the way that it's built, it has these little teeth. So you won't be able to just slide until straight across. You have to sort of go make an in and outward motion. So you'll take that off. It's slightly glued as well. You might want to use a hairdryer or, you know, a heat gun to warm this up prior. So the bottom looks like this, and again you want to take your tool and just pry in this exactly the same fashion, just being extra careful obviously with your plastic non-marring tool. If you can and you need 2 hands, to maybe get a friend to help you as you lift one portion, just get them to like slip a really tiny tool in and just ease it out, and that white bit should pop off. So it's this right here, it's got like sort of 4 holes in it, and you want to just pick a side really. Take a flathead, really tiny flathead screwdriver, one that's got a fair bit of weight so that you can get some leverage. And don't go crazy here, because there's a wiring loom just beneath there. You don't want to go stabbing straight through that and into that circuitry. So just, you want to put pressure here, just literally here and up, and then on the same side here and up, or vice versa. So now we're left with the internals of the iPod Mini, and now as you can see here, you've got this like little sort of harness clipped in the And it can be quite, especially if you haven't opened this, like bear in mind, I think this one I've got in my hand was made in 2005. This hasn't been opened for 15 years, so it's going to be a little bit stiff. If you see from the side, there's like a little black panel. You just want to be putting some weight against that, and just maybe in there as well until it pops out. Okay, now back to the top. You can either do this before or after, it doesn't really matter, but you want to take a suitable screwdriver. There's two screws, there's one here on the right and one here on the left, Phillips screws, and you're just gonna put the screwdriver in and put a bit of pressure so that you don't thread the screw. Make sure you've got a nice even hand so you don't stab yourself, that's the last thing we want. And just take those screws out. Right. Okay, so those screws are out now. Once you've done that, you should be able to push from the bottom gently upwards. So okay, we're looking at the back, it's literally just the memory is taped in like that, but if I wanted to change that later then I could. Today's just the battery, so this is the old battery here that's giving me problems. There we go. So now we're just going to reverse the steps. Make sure you look closely to where the metal teeth are in this and try to link it up with that. So apologies if this goes out of the camera, I'm just trying to work in a way that doesn't. Okay, so there's sort of like a more flat side to this. If the camera will focus, excuse my shaky hands. You just want to line that up and basically it goes straight back in again. So the new battery is now connected, and then we're going to fold that back over like this. So that it sits in there nicely. Okay, so that's the new battery in there. That's just some of that sticky stuff again. Let's just get that off because I don't like the idea of that staying there. Right, okay. Right, so we're just going to reverse the steps. Obviously it came out the top, so we're going to put it back through the top. Okay, so once all that's back together, you need to make sure that these wires here are just, you know, like pushed in. So we're going to just slide this back into the case slowly. See those wires there, what I'm talking about? You don't want it catching that metal, so if that happens and you get to there, just really gently try to push those back in. Slowly but surely. Until it all just goes in like so. There we go. And then we're going to put the two screws back in here and here. So I suppose you could use a little tiny bit of like gluey adhesive, similar to the ones they've used, or some sort of, I think by the look of it that's some sort of sticker type one. But it's probably not necessary because it is very sticky. You just want to kind of line that back up perfectly to slot back in. Again, you can just take your time with this. If you get a bit of a tricky part, then what I like to do is use sort of like a rounded surface like this and just try to push it in like so until it's nice and flat again. There we go, flush. I'm just going to reconnect this part here. That just pushes in. one side will be slightly stickier, so you'll put the non-sticky side towards the components, and these teeth on here just literally clip into there, and then reverse the steps to get those to sit in there like we did earlier. Okay, so you hear that click, so that's all in there firmly, screen's all lined up and everything else. And you just want to pop that bit back on the bottom like so, and don't put too much force immediately. You want to make sure they're lined up first before you go putting on crazy pressure like I did. Right, and then that's nice and flush back to how it was. And now you should have a restored iPod with a working battery. So I've just reset it by holding menu and play button down. Right, and it's back on. And as you can see, we have what looks like half a battery. Everything's working nicely as it should. So some people suggest that you should let the battery die out to a certain extent, like maybe 2 to 5% or even fully, before charging it, and then that way it activates the battery properly. Everyone says something different, but you can look into that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and that is how to change your iPod Mini's battery. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe, you know, comment, like, do all that good stuff that you want to do, and stay posted for the next video.